Hello and welcome to Shorts That Are Not Pants Film Festival 2021. I'm James McNally, programming director, and I'm very pleased to be here with Lydia Matata, the writer and director of Sungura. Welcome, Lydia.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about this film in particular because the last time that I saw Lydia was in Berlin, about this time 2 years ago in 2019. We were both there for the script pitch for Interfilm Berlin, which is a wonderful short film festival there. And I was so impressed with the script, and I was really hoping that this is one of the films that would be made quickly, and it was. So, Lydia, tell us when I read the script in 2019, how close was that script to the final shooting script that you ended up using?
Yeah, it was pretty close. I think there were just a few things that changed, and that was like maybe a logistics thing. Like the space that we were using was very small, and I think there was a time that we ran out of daylight. So just a few bits and pieces changed, but it's pretty close to the actual script.
And where were you in the production process when we met? Like you had come with the script to polish it, I guess, and but had you already started raising funds, casting, any of that stuff? Was it all underway at that time?
No, because at that time, when we met in Berlin, now I was looking for. Now we're in the process with my producer. Her name is Ivy Kiru. And we're in the process of now looking for funding. So Interfilm was like one of the places we wanted to pitch and maybe see if there would be other avenues that would get funding through that. And I think I managed to raise part of the funding in 2019, and we thought, okay, we will shoot with this in 2020. Although I didn't feel ready, I really didn't feel prepared, but it was like one of the funding requirements of this one financier that it be done in 4 months. So that was April. Um, but then COVID hit, luckily or unluckily. Okay, when I say luckily, and I'm not trying to downplay this pandemic and what it's done to our lives, but it meant time because I was freaking out. I knew I was not ready to make the film in April. And yeah, so that gave us more time, and also give us more time now to look for additional funding, because when we did the math was not mathing. It was just not adding up.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't like we even didn't pay ourselves. We tried to cut some of the money that we were paying casting, because it's really set design and costume heavy, because I really wanted this colorful look and feel
Mhm.
of for the film, but that cost so much. So now later on we're able to get a second organization on board to fund it, and now going to production in January of 2021.
So that you spent the year of lockdown just getting everything prepared, yeah, and getting everything ready.
Yes.
Can you talk about the casting process? The casting is wonderful. I always thought when I was reading it, this is going to really depend on who the actors are, and especially your lead character who uses a wheelchair. So tell me about trying to find her.
So during the development of the film, like when I was finished with maybe draft two, I reached out to friends who are women with a disability, want to ask, is this story that I'm writing, true to your experiences? And and what can I change? What can I change in the story or in the messaging that, to a person with a disability, may not really be, part of your world, or and stuff like that. And this group of wonderful, amazing women also helped me to. So we put out a casting call and made it clear that it was the main character was a woman in a wheelchair, and we really encouraged persons with disabilities to come to like send a video to audition, but we got very very few. And I think that's because here we haven't had that much inclusion.
Mhm.
There are very very few actors with disability in our film industry, and I think there was a feeling like maybe within the disability community that we weren't serious, that
Mhm.
maybe we just wanted a non-disabled actor to pretend. So I reached out to these women, and they, they gave me the numbers of every young woman that they knew who might be able to fit. And after a couple of months, that's how, we called each one of these numbers, and we asked, send in your video, please, 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 we really, really want you to try out. And um that's how I got Florence. There were other amazing actors, and I wish, like, this was a story where everyone had was a woman with a disability, but unfortunately it was just that one role specifically. But she was so amazing. She's never acted before. She actually was a basketball player for the Kenyan Paralympic team,
Oh,
and now
wow.
she's a businesswoman. So she had never acted before. But I remember, like, when we had started casting, we only had the first initial funding. So we're doing the auditions in a restaurant. It was noisy and it was awkward and it was not ideal. But she was just able to block everything out and be this person. And during rehearsals, it just to tell her just one scenario, or this one, could you maybe try, like, just imagine if the situation was like this, and immediately she would understand and just switch it up. Yeah, and I was very lucky because, and every single one of the actors, Kosa Kangede, who is Mama Sally, the traditional sexologist or singer, Audiroa, who is the bridezilla or fiancezilla, and Woke Pam, who is acted by Majuma Bell. These are very some of the best actors that we have in Kenya. And I am growing as a director, and I'm not necessarily at a point where I'm able to work with actors to where, like, what they need, give them what they need. I'm still learning. But they were just able to really work with me, also teach me how to work with them. And I
Mhm.
really like how they, like, came together to just help Florence as well, to just, to embody this character. And there were so many takes, and I could tell that she was exhausted, but then you don't see that in the on the film. And also,
No.
like, the wheelchair that we got was from a hospital, and she's like, this is very uncomfortable. And I was like, wow, a wheelchair from an actual hospital is uncomfortable. I'm so sorry. Like, we didn't even like, like, wow. Yeah, because she said, yeah, it was very uncomfortable, and she's not a wheelchair user, but she has a prosthetic and uses a walking aid. So
Okay.
she's supposed to stand and walk. So she would have to, like, stand up, like, in between, and just take a break from the wheelchair, then sit back down. But then she said that this is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever sat in. What do you mean it's from a hospital?
That's funny. Like she had to stand up to take a break from sitting
Yes,
down.
from the
That
wheelchair.
was tiring. Yeah. I mean, the humor is very important part of the script, and I'm really glad that it came across. Now, the actors that you were working with, you mentioned some of them are well known. Are they comedic actresses? Like, had they done a lot of comedy before? Is that sort of their specialty? Or
No, I think all of them have done, like, a range of things.
mm-hmm.
Like, Kosa is like a household name who, like, we've seen in very many soaps, and she's
Mm-hmm.
done also a lot of drama films as well. Uh, uh, Majuma as well. I know that there's one series where she's going to be a police officer. It's yet to come out. Then there's one other short film where it was where it was comedic, and she was able to pull that off. And then for Audi, in a previous film before she came on set for this one, she was she acted as a schoolgirl, like in, sixth grade, class six,
Mm-hmm.
like a little tomboy who wanted to do boxing. So the transformation to this other woman was, like, really, 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 really huge. So they
Yeah.
have range as actors, yeah.
I wanted to talk about the mix of tradition and modernity in the film too. The fact that you use this very traditional um, sexologist, which is so unusual for us. I haven't. I don't think we do that sort of thing in North America. But I wanted to ask you if this was something that you had experienced. Have you ever been to a bachelorette party when this has been the case? Is this something that actually happens?
I'm Kenyan Ugandan,
Hmm.
and in Uganda, like traditionally, in some communities, young girls are supposed to have something called a sex auntie or a senga to teach them about, sexuality, sexual pleasure, how to please yourself, how to please your husband. And there's also like in Kenya, there's there are communities at the coast, coastal communities who also have an equivalent, but then I forget the Kiswahili name for that. So what started to happen in across East Africa, or let me say Uganda and Kenya, is that even if it's not within that person's community, that person's tribe, what a lot of women have started doing is hiring the singer to come for the bridal shower and to
Mm.
teach her friends about, this is what you do in the bedroom. This is how you should, wear some perfume, clean yourself, movements in bed and stuff like that. Although some things, so I tried to, a little bit of the things are, some of the things are made up,
Hmm.
and they're made up also because, um, one what so I really really wanted to play with set design and color. So like that part where they're rubbing themselves with oil, I think I just wanted these mason jars with colorful oil, and because I knew like that would look good. The
Yeah.
waist beads, yeah, we do have like a shanga. That's the name in Kiswahili, but in Kenya, Uganda, in I think in other communities, even Tanzania, they have the waist beads, and they're supposed
Yeah.
to be like almost an aphrodisiac for your husband. He's supposed to
Hmm.
know, oh, okay, tonight it's on because he's seen
She's
the
wearing the
waist,
beads. Yeah.
wearing the
That's,
beads, and then now um young women and girls have started to wear them just as a fashion statement. So, but it's
mm,
supposed to be for the bedroom and not for the public. And I
gotcha.
think that, and also even the modern and the traditional, like Sungura Rabbit is the name of an actual brand name. It's a brand name for an actual vibrator.
Yeah.
But I wanted to use the Kiswahili equivalent to localize it,
Mhm.
so that it's within our culture, and then like kind of also look at sexuality or sensuality that's Afrocentric. So the waist beads, when she's teaching the girls to dance, that's actually a friend of mine who told me that growing up, she comes from the coast, they'll be taught to dance with bottles in between their legs. And I thought, wow, that would look beautiful in my film, and stuff like that. So I was lucky that other than maybe just a couple of stuff, I was very, very lucky that we have a culture where there's these really nice visual things that you can use.
Yeah.
And it was also important because I think we've become very conservative. I guess it's also because of colonialism, where there's people act like we're supposed to be non-sexual culturally, like it's immoral. But it was important for me to use these things from our culture to show, no, 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 we're very sexual, sensual people. Yeah, there's nothing immoral about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you had your premiere at home in
Yes.
Nairobi a few weeks ago, I think, and it looked fantastic. Everybody was dressed up, and but has it led to any discussion or conversations about the issues that were raised in the film? Like, have you had some press, any sort of attention to some of these questions?
No, we haven't. Okay, so the thing is, it was very, very difficult to get one of the media houses to write an article about the film or to feature us.
Hmm.
They said, the journalists will say, by the way, we love the film, but we'll get into trouble. Kenya is very, it's heavily censored. But even when we are explaining that, no, we have classification from the film board, and it's about disability. It's not just sex for sex. It's
Yeah.
about disability. These are really, really important issue. A lot of the media houses said no. There was only one called TV 47 that came and actually covered the premiere and everything, and
Hmm.
aired it. One like a Wednesday, the Wednesday after the premiere. we've had some online bloggers who've done some amazing articles about it, but it hasn't, like, the discussions that were had and that were fruitful were now inside the room during the Q&A for the premiere. And then we also had there was also another festival called Under Our Skin, also in Nairobi, that happened during that time, although it was like a smaller audience. And now they were like a really, really crucial discussions about how our misperceptions about disability create this exclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that right now, because it's also being shown locally through another festival called NBO Film Festival, online for free, that it might now lead to that. But also from the audience, like, weeks after that, people kept on tweeting and discussing it on Facebook, which usually doesn't, like, for my first film, people just said it was good at the festival, and not at the festival, shots, and then moved on.
Yeah.
But this one, it was constant discussion about this film that they saw, which was really, really amazing. Yeah, for
I
an
think you've
audience.
hit it's a sweet spot between almost a documentary subject, but treated with a lot of humor. And like, I thought maybe this is something where, like, if you have something you want to talk about, people are more willing to listen, and they're going to remember, if they have a character that they relate to, or there's some humor in it. I think this is a subject that is important, not just locally for you, but all over the world. So I'm kind of hoping that your film will travel well, and will bring this issue to more people. I think that was the consensus with our group in Berlin, who were from all over the world, was that this was something they'd never seen before. So congratulations on the film. What is next for you? Are you working on something now? I'm hoping you're going to say a comedy, because
Um, so right now, currently, I'm working on a documentary.
okay.
I was actually editing a pitch video. I'm in the Global Short Stock Forum. Yeah, it's called King of Skate. I'm following an amazing artist and skateboarder called Anthony Mwangi, who does a lot of amazing work in his community through skateboarding. So it's going to be a short documentary. I am developing other feature and short films, but I'm trying to rest. This was a huge year. So, yes, I'm trying not to, like, jump into developing and then searching for funding immediately, and to give myself time, and then also, make this other, like, amazing doc as well. Yes, and then continue on that journey of fiction.
Great. Well, I hope we will see some more films from you in our festival. Thanks again, Lydia, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for having the film at Shows That Are Not Pants.
It's our pleasure.
Amazing.